What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Behind Show. In this video, I want to be doing an off-season preview for the Cleveland Browns. I'll be doing a free agency mock, a 3-man mock draft from PFF, and also kind of be doing a record prediction for Cleveland based on the moves that I did in this video. So let's go ahead and get started here. So the Browns this past season were 7-10, and this year do not have a first-round pick because all the draft picks they traded to get Deshaun Watson. So when you're looking at this Cleveland Browns team, as of right now, according to Spotrac, they have about $11 million over the cap. So they need to get under that. Some of these moves that they could do to create more cap space. One of the cap casualties here is release safety John Johnson. They would save about $10 million there, and that's more likely he will end up being released in the next coming weeks. So also a couple other moves here that can restructure some contracts like Myles Garrett, Wyatt Taylor, and Batoni. They would save $36 million right there. So after all those moves take place, they would have a little over $30 million in cap space. And when you're looking at this Browns team, they could use help at wide receiver, edge, safety, defensive tackle, and linebacker. To me, there's not any big guys the Browns should be re-signing. I know Kareem Hunt is a free agent, but to me, I think he might, sign a contract to play somewhere else. So looking at some of these free agency signings here, I had the Browns signing DJ Chark to a 2-year deal worth $12 million. I've said this multiple times. I think Chark was one of the more underrated receivers in the league. He had 30 receptions last year for over 500 yards and 3 touchdowns for Detroit. And when you look at it, Detroit just had so many weapons last year, like St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift. They had T.J. Hawkinson at times last year. Just so many weapons. And it's kind of hard to get everybody the ball. But DJ Chark, to me, I feel like he'd be very, very successful in this Browns offense. Deshaun Watson would be by far the best quarterback that Chark has had in his career up to this point. So I feel like Chark signing with Cleveland to a 2-year deal worth $12 million would be a really, really nice signing for Cleveland. Another signing I had the Browns doing, and I think this will possibly end up happening, with the Browns more likely releasing John Johnson. They're going to definitely need a safety. And there's already been talks about this, and I feel like the Browns might go after Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates playing for, the Browns' big rival, the Bengals. Bates, the first 3 seasons of his career, had at least 100 tackles and 3 interceptions. But the last 2 years, he's had a decline in play. Neither of those last 2 years, he's had at least 90 tackles. You could just tell the last 2 years, he's not really been himself compared to the first couple years that he's played. He's good, but to me, I'm not paying him this much money. To me, I would pay him about 12. But the Browns, if they have the money, I would go ahead and spend it. Jesse Bates would be a great addition to this Browns secondary, especially since you're going to need safety help with more than likely releasing John Johnson. Looking at some of these other signings here, I have them bringing back Larry Ogunjobi. Larry Ogunjobi used to play for the Browns several years ago, and he has, played with the Steelers and Bengals since that time. But Larry Ogunjobi, to me, I think he's much better now than he was with his first stint with Cleveland. They could use a little bit more help at defensive tackle. His stats aren't great, but I feel like he's much better than his stats really show. In the 2021 season, he was a bigger reason for the Bengals' success on defense. He played pretty well for the Steelers' defense this past year. So getting more help at defensive tackle, getting a guy who's already been in Cleveland, I don't think it would be a bad idea for the Browns here for a 1-year contract worth $4 million. And like I said, the Browns could use help at linebacker, and somebody else I had the Browns signing is another former Bengal, and that is Jermaine Pratt. It's looking more and more likely that Pratt will end up leaving Cincinnati. I have the Browns signing him to a 3-year deal worth $36 million. The last 2 years, Pratt has really, really, improved his play. He was a rookie in 2019, and the first year or two, it kind of, took him a little bit to develop and everything, get used to things. But, 2021 season, he had his best year yet. But you could even make a case this past year, he played better than he did in the 2021 year. Getting Jermaine Pratt, getting Jesse Bates, Larry Ogunjobi, DJ Chark, this is a terrific offseason for the Browns. And it's crazy because you've not even got to the draft yet. Like, this is in my opinion, a plus, free agency so far for the Cleveland Browns just based on these moves here. You're attacking your team needs, and you're getting some of the top players at their positions. This is a great way to start off free agency for the Cleveland Browns. So looking at this 3-round mock draft here, they do not have a first-round pick. with them trading their first-round pick to Houston for the Deshaun Watson trade. So when you look at the Browns, they have a second and a third-round pick, and with their second-round pick, they take Maryland cornerback Deonte Banks. I know corner might not be a desperate need for the Browns, but he's the best player available here, and you can never have too many good corners. I love this pickup here. When you're playing against some top wide receivers like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, some of these other guys, George Pickens, who's pretty good. You can never have too many good corners. And the Browns, to me, I feel like they're normally pretty good at drafting. This is a pick I could see them doing here if Banks is available with the 42nd pick overall. So they take the Maryland corner, Deonte Banks, with the 42nd pick overall here in the second round. And in the third round here, this is an A-plus pick. I was absolutely shocked that this guy was even available here with the 98th pick. They take Houston wide receiver Nathaniel Dell. I had no idea how he was available here. This just makes no sense to me. He had over 100 receptions last year, 17 receiving touchdowns. He was just so phenomenal. I've seen some mock drafts have him being in the first round. The fact that they get him here with the 98th pick is an incredible pick. Could very well end up being the steal of the draft. And when you need wide receiver, you already get DJ Chark, and then you get a first-round talent here with the 98th pick. That is a tremendous offseason for the Cleveland Browns. So looking at the Browns here, kind of doing a record prediction based on the moves that I did in this video here. So the Browns play Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Baltimore. I think they won about 2 of those games. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, and Titans maybe 2 or 3. Arizona, 49ers, Texans, Colts, 2 or 3. And the Rams, Seahawks, Jets, Bears, and Broncos. I want to say maybe 3, maybe 4, depending there. So when you're looking at the Browns this upcoming season, based on the moves that I did in this video, I think Cleveland will end up being 10-7. And to me, if they have this type of roster, I think they're definitely in contention to possibly end up winning the AFC North this upcoming year. But it should be very interesting to see what Cleveland does in the offseason. Comment your thoughts, who you want the Browns to draft and sign the free agency. That about does it for this video. If you're new to the channel or seen videos before, I would really, really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time on the Sports 2 Hines Show.